Welcome to Bounce Around Charleston. I'm Randolph Miller. Coming up in today's show, Halloween is just around the corner, and there are some key safety tips that parents need to remember. We will have Sergeant Trevor Shelor from the Charleston Police Department here to give us some safety tips. And coming up later in the show, Bounce reporter Michelle Lemon show us how to look good on this scary day with some Halloween fashion. Okay, we're here on Bounce Around Charleston, and standing here with me is Sergeant Trevor Shelor of the Charleston City Police Department. Welcome to Bounce Around Charleston. Hey, now, it's that season, it's that time for Halloween. Right. And we know what happens with the children, the costumes, and the candy, and some of our young adults and adults with their costumes. So we're here to talk about Halloween safety. What would you have to say about that, Sergeant
Well,
Shelor?
Some of the first aspects are a little bit of planning. Have your kids try on their costumes. If you can pick something that's lighter colored for when they are walking from the beginning, then that'll be a little bit better, but also find some accessories, a brightly colored candy bag or pumpkin thing they're carrying or flashlights. But look at their costume and have them try it on to make sure that they won't trip on something.
Correct.
Some of these long princess dresses and Jedi cloaks and things like that, they will trip on if they have to go up steps.
Correct.
Or if they have to step up a curb. Second, have them try on the mask. Usually the eye holes are pre-cut and they're usually very small.
So they need to be able to see.
Right, they need to be able to see, because if they can't see down, they can't see the crack in the sidewalk, they can't see a tree root, or that they're about to step on their own outfit. So have them try it on, and with very small scissors, the adult, not the kid, trim those eye holes out a little bit bigger if you need to be able to see down. Basically hold your hand out down below you and see if you can see it, or if you can see your feet.
Okay, now you brought up something very interesting, the costumes, because the adults may go to a Halloween party. Right. And they have on costumes. So would you recommend that they not have on the mask while they're driving?
Right, exactly. In fact, there's city ordinances against adults or anybody 16 and over having a mask or a toy gun out in public. So if you are going to a party, keep the mask off until you get there. Don't be wearing the mask, driving the car. You can't see out the sides. If you forget what you're doing and you get out at the gas station, somebody might think you're about to rob it. So just don't wear the mask until you get where you're going. Okay.
Now, let's go back to the candy.
Right.
What would you tell the parents about candy safety?
A couple of different things. The candy, back 30 years ago, people were all worried about poisons and things. That's not really a reality, but there are defects in candy. And there are, you can go on websites and find lists from the confectioners on defects on candy. So you can look at it and say, oh, that's not anthrax. It just didn't, it had too much sugar in the recipe. So look on that ahead of time, but encourage the kids while they're trick-or-treating not to eat the candy while they're out in the dark. Wait till they get home, pour it on the table, count it out.
You can make it like a game.
You can make a game out of it, how many brown ones and how many yellow ones and how many orange ones. And make it a game and counting between them and their brothers and sisters who got the most or whatever, to create a situation where they're wanting to bring it all home because every single one counts. And that gives the parents a chance to look at wrappers and labels and things like that to make sure it's not last year's Easter candy and things like that. But you also don't want old candy that could have had a tear in the wrapper and insects or something could have got into it. Just different things. And then going back to the kids' route, on the planning side of things, plan to go down one side of the street and back up the other instead of crisscrossing. Every time you cross the street is dangerous.
It's dangerous, that's right.
And really, this is on a Friday. Kids will be going out at 5:30, 6. It's starting to get dark at that time, and there will be people rushing home.
So do you recommend a particular time?
Typically after dinner, up until maybe 8:30 or so. Folks really get spooked if you're knocking on their door upwards of 9 o'clock anyway. So try and keep it between a reasonable dinner time and 8:30. The parents that are on the way home from work, they're trying to get home in time to take their kids out. But parents, while you're driving home, be cautious because there already are kids out. So drive slowly through your neighborhood, not in a hurry.
We've been also told that if you come upon a house and the front porch light is not on, then you should not go there.
Right, that's the whole point of that. They may be home in the back watching TV. They just don't want to deal with kids. They may not be home at all, but you're wasting your effort by knocking on that door. If the light is not on, essentially you're not welcome to come knock at their door.
Now, I've got to bring this up. When parents, they should travel with their children because there are some pedophiles out there.
There are some folks out there that you wouldn't want your child to encounter, so parents just stay with your kids. And if you have a blanket rule that the children don't go in a house, they stay on the porch, then they should be fine, and there shouldn't be a worry there. But it is always best for the parents to accompany the children, not only for that reason, but to make sure that they're behaving on the sidewalk and not falling, stumbling out into the street or hitting other kids with their lightsaber and other things that kids do when they're by themselves.
Right, so parents should definitely be out there with their children.
Right. For older children now, 12, 13 years old, which really they would be best just to stay home and help give out candy, but make sure the parents have the conversation with those kids. There's a difference in a prank and vandalism can get you in a lot of trouble.
Okay, now, have there ever been any incidents in the Low Country area dealing with Halloween?
Well, we have various little things come up, but the last several years, I don't know of any major incidents of injury or something like that. Now, this is a Friday night, which Friday nights are Friday nights. It's on a weekend. It's dark. It's late. Just encourage your kids to come home at a reasonable time. And adults, just be aware of the other dangers that are out there because it's nighttime and it's a Friday in the first place.
So if you had to make a checklist of Halloween, what would be on your list?
Check the kids' costumes, make sure that they are safe, and talk to kids about safely walking up steps and curbs. Talk to them about their route, make sure that they know to stay on one side of the street. Everybody crosses a group one time and come back. Know which houses you've been to. In case an issue did come up with some candy, that's a problem with going to other neighborhoods.
Yes.
And then double check that costume, make sure that it's not going to have something dangerous on it, a sharp object or a staple or a thread that, a needle and thread stuck in it someplace by accident. Just the safety side there, and just have a good time.
Okay.
Just know to have a good time.
But if people have other questions, is there a number that they can call?
They can call our office at the crime prevention office. It's 769-7407 and leave a message. We'll get back to you.
769-7407.
Right. And if they see something dangerous going on or something suspicious that night on Halloween or any other time, the main dispatch number of 743-7200 to get an officer to you right then. And we will have officers in probably every neighborhood at night.
Sergeant Shelor, thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this break.